Good morning, it's Shanna. Today I wanted to do a pretty quick and straightforward video. I wanted to go over how I use my Color Mage. I've showed it a few times in past videos, using it with the Herb Crafters and the Southern Botanic Oracle. So I'll start there. I just kind of feel like even though I've explained how I use it, I feel like it's sort of been in passing. So I just kind of wanted to go into a little bit more detail. I have a lot of fun with it, and the last few times I've used it, I've been curious as to whether or not I could find other decks to go with it. I mean, I think it would go with any deck because it's just colors. But the way I feel about it with the Herb Crafters and the Southern Botanic, I don't know, it's almost like these two are definitely a bonded pair, absolutely. But I feel like because this is so versatile, I feel like it can move around and be with other decks. It doesn't necessarily have to stay with these two. So I wanted to start with the Herb Crafters and the Southern Botanic just to kind of revisit how I use them together, and then see if I can find, I don't know, maybe one or two other decks. Again, I don't have a ton of time. It is Friday afternoon and my last of 3 days off. And this is my third attempt at a video this week. The first one I don't know, neither of the first two just felt right. So we're trying a third time. If this doesn't work, well, you'll never know because I won't have posted it. But if you're seeing it, yay, I felt like it worked. So, okay, basically what I do, I'm just gonna give these a quick shuffle. I always feel weird about just raw dogging it. What does that term even mean? That's the term that came to mind, so we're gonna go with it. If it's dirty, I'm sorry. I don't remember what it means. I've heard it, but I don't remember. Okay. So we're just gonna pull one from the Herb Crafters. And obviously, depending on your reading, you can pull as many or as few as you want. I used the Color Mage at the beginning of the year, and I did 4 rows, I guess I did 3 rows of 4 to indicate the portions of the year, and then at the end of each of those rows, I also added a Color Mage card, and that was kind of fun to kind of have a color for that specific, I guess it would be what? I don't know if it was quarters. I don't remember if it was 4 rows of 3 or 3 rows of 4. I'll insert a picture here so that you know what I'm talking about, but okay, this isn't really a reading, it's just a general, oh, that's ironic. Let's take this one here since it wasn't the one on top. Make sure we're in frame. Okay. So I will choose my tarot and oracle cards, or, draw my tarot and oracle cards. And then what I like to do, this is the part I feel like I sort of rush through. This is the part I wanted to kind of dig into a little bit deeper with you guys. So let me see how this is showing up on the camera. Okay. So once I have my cards, I will go through and I will usually set one card aside and I'll work with one at a time. And then I literally just go through like this and I start pulling out cards that I feel, for whatever reason, match or fit the vibe. And I'm only looking from here up. I'm not looking at the keywords. Usually how I'm holding it, other than the top one, I can't really see the keyword anyway. So I'm literally just kind of going like this. And I enjoy this process because it is calming. It takes time. I don't rush. It's kind of one of those practices that is meditative, I guess. And so I'll just going through the entire deck, anything that I like for whatever reason. Sometimes, depending on, what I'm feeling with the tarot card, I'll try to focus in on a specific aspect of it, or I'll hold it down here where I can see the entire card. For this one, I feel like I would go with the entire card. And I just take my time. Sometimes it doesn't even match, but for whatever reason, it just seems like one wants to go with it. So I will speed this part up because I imagine you don't want to sit here and watch the process, but I'll speed it up. You can watch the process in double time. Okay, once I've chosen a stack, then I go through the process again. I kind of like to fan out this way. Again, we're not looking at the keywords at the bottom. And, you know, generally speaking, when I do this, I really don't feel the need to look at the keyword. But if you do, just put your thumb over it. Like, generally, you can't see it anyway. So then, this was quite a few. I don't generally tend to pull out this many, but I don't know, this many was calling to me. So now I'm going to go through and I'm just going to go again. So I'll speed this up again and I will pull out, or I'll remove anything that doesn't quite speak to me the way I thought maybe it would. Or I might have like a maybe pile. Let's look at it again, a maybe pile and then a no pile. Okay, and then as you start eliminating, it tends to get easier and easier, and you can kind of start to see a theme here. So again, I'll just go through it again. Now this is just, you know, it's a lengthy process, but it's part of the enjoyment of this particular practice for me, so I don't mind it. So now I'll just go through them again, and I'll do it again and again until I wind up with one card. That's the goal, is to get to one card. For some reason, this black one is just really drawing to me, but I don't want to look at that keyword, so I'm going to flip it over. I don't like to look at the keyword. I feel like that definitely influences my pick. So if I feel tempted, I will flip the card over. So I do like that one. I like that one. Okay, so we're down to 3. Oops, I'm just bumping things here. So then I'll just kind of, I like that, but it's the other two are really calling to me. So I'm really leaning to this black, so dark. Okay. So now I'll take these two and I will set them aside and I will go through and do the exact same thing for the oracle. Sometimes during this process, if I'm struggling, I will really let my eyes relax and just really let them soft focus right in here, and that tends to help me choose a color. All right, we're gonna go with Dragon, Power and Legacy. So now I like to stack them this way, not for any particular reason, I just like the way it looks. And then now I can proceed with my reading. You know, I'll pull out the guidebook, I will take into account the color and the way it makes me feel, the mood, the emotion that it elicits, and obviously the keywords. And then that's my reading. I like the way it looks, and I like the way that this adds a unique layer to it without having to get into a guidebook. It's solely on the mood and the vibe and the way it makes me feel. So I like that about it. Okay, let's pick another deck. All right, let's do Mindscapes. This is a brand new deck. We've all seen it the last few days. Everyone's talking about it. And I want to play with it. And also, it's 5 p.m. My son gets off work at 5. I intend to eat at 6, and dinner's going to take an hour. What does that tell you? That tells you I need to hustle. So we're just gonna do this once. All right. I don't know why it matters, but here it matters. So let's just do one card. Justice, one of my least favorite cards. Thank you, Mindscapes. I don't know, right? I don't know. Do you guys like the Justice card? It just kind of feels like meh, boring. Obviously, in the right rating, it's not going to be boring. But for today's experiment, it feels a little boring. But we're going to go with it because that's the one I drew. So look at that. That's gorgeous. First one out of the door, out of the box, whatever. So same thing. We're just going to flip through, and we can just really kind of tear through it. Like, we know we don't like blues here. Purples are a no. Oranges are a maybe. That's pretty. Oops. That's nice. All the oranges are nice. And the yellows and the golds. It's going to be a big pick. So sometimes I kind of already know a palette that I'm going for. Oops. And this is a very intentional practice for me. Like, I don't generally go for like cards that maybe fall out of the deck or anything. This is all about me making the decision, which is part of the fun. Goodness. That's pretty. Okay. Now, go through it again. Sometimes I kind of have to hold it, you know, the card over the others just so I'm not getting distracted by those colors to make a decision. It's actually really pretty. It's interesting. I don't know why I'm liking that one. It doesn't really match, but it's not really about match. It's just about a feeling, right? So I'm feeling tempted to look at the keywords, so I'm just going to hold my hand over it. And we're going to kind of look at these again. I don't know, I'm feeling that one. And I like that. I feel like this would be nice during the day, but since it's evening, you know, that can definitely influence the color that you choose. That's really pretty too. It's like a sunset. It's a deeper sunset. I do kind of like this. I like that more though. Okay, so now we're down to 4. For whatever reason, I really like that one. And so maybe I'll set it aside. I've never tried to use 2, but maybe I could potentially use 2. I don't know. I just, you know what? Let's go with 3. Let's be wild and crazy. Especially where we've got 1 tarot, we could easily use 3. I haven't done this. I'm sure there's other ways we could stack these based on the reading. Is this all in frame? Pretty much. Okay. So that is my process, and as you can tell, it takes time, and especially when I'm sitting here being intentional, I want to journal, I'll take even a little bit more time with each one. Like, I'll really sit and let my eyes soft focus on each of the colors, and I love the practice. It's relaxing, and it really brings me into the card, and I don't know, I feel like it's like this. Yeah, like we've got the dark up there and here. Next we have kind of this orangey, and then down here we kind of have that, I mean, it's not really green, but it sort of emulates it. I don't know. And that's that. I'd pull out the guidebook, read the tarot and or the oracle, whichever one I was using, or both, obviously. And then I would look at these. So, you know, these are great journal prompts. The Color Mage makes for great journal prompts. You know, where in my life can I have more mercy and forgiveness? Where, you know, with justice having those consequences, what are the consequences of mercy and forgiveness? What are the consequences of bringing in the energy of the ancients? I don't know if that's a valid question. What could we say for this? Energy of the ancients. Maybe it wouldn't be so much about the meaning of justice so much, but the energy of this card, the image itself, the energy of the ancients, you know. How can I foster this feeling of power and stability and fairness? And then this wisdom. So the wisdom of the ancients, that, you know, possessing that energy. Obviously they, you know, I don't know where this is. I'm assuming this is a real place. It reminds me of a Roman image. I don't know if that's it, but to me it says Rome. I'm sure it explains more in the guidebook. But yeah, that's how I would use it. And it's really fun to just let these sort of flow together. And that's my practice for combining decks with the Color Mage. So I've kind of been wanting to do that for a while now. So thank you for sitting here with me for this very quick and short video this week. I will catch up with you next time.